Want to welcome everybody to the Geek Salad Podcast. I'm your host, Arya the King. Normally, this is the place where I would be like, yo, I'm joined by my co-host, G, the Bearded One. But this Negro is chilling with J. Cole at the Dreamville Festival. So more power to him. We're going to have some good content coming from that. I'm joined today by Olivia. She's from Florida. I know, it's cool. I got security on standby. Don't worry about us. And also, I'm joined by Johnny and Ralph from the Oversaturated podcast. And today we're going to be talking about the slap heard around the world, plus a lot more. Stay tuned.
I'm on the come up, jump up, I pick my gun up. Joe Jackson with trap.
How did y'all first hear about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock? Like, where were y'all at? Were y'all actually watching it? Or like, tell me about that.
I was on the shade room.
Okay. Sounds about right.
Right.
I was. Oh, go ahead, Ralph. Go ahead, Ralph.
Oh no, I was on the Twitter. Like the wife was like, "Hey, Will Smith smacked Chris Rock." I was like, "Nah, no, he didn't." And then Twitter blew up, so I was just like, "Oh, yeah." I was like, "Oh."
I was actually I was in the kitchen cooking dinner. Ralph texted me. He said, "Check Twitter DM quick. Check your Twitter DM quick." I went. I looked. He sent me a clip of the slap. I was like, "This is at the Oscars. This is probably scripted. Like, is this real? Is this real?" That's what I said to him. And then here we are now.
Fam, I didn't think it was real at first. I'm with you, man. I thought it was like something staged because you don't really see things like this happen. It's like, stuff like this does happen, but usually it's behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when I saw how Will Smith did it, dude just got out his seat, just strode up there with the pimp stroll, leaned in, slapped him, turned around, fixed the suit. I was like, oh, this is real. The thing that tripped me out, like Thursday, my mom didn't know about it because my mom, she don't really be on social media like that. So I'm over my mom's house with my 4-year-old. And I'm like, Mom, did you hear about Will Smith and Chris Rock? She was like, no, what happened? I was like, it's like, Mom, I was like, I got something to show you. So she pulls it up and she was just like going crazy. And it was crazy watching her see it for the first time when, like, I feel like 99% of the world already been talking about it for like 4 days. You know what I'm saying? So what do y'all think? Right, wrong, in between? I'm gonna hand the ball off to you, Olivia. What are your thoughts on the whole slap heard around the world?
I believe Will Smith was entirely wrong and that it was completely inappropriate and that he robbed so many people, especially so many Black people, of their special night, their first night. We're not even talking about who else got an Oscar, who else got awarded. So many other people. For example, William Packard, he is a pretty renowned Black producer, and he produced the band, and everyone that he had involved was also Black. And it's just terrible that now that the Oscars is being more inclusive towards having movies where the main cast or the people are people of color, that this had to happen. And like a lot of people, especially comedians, said, the joke didn't seem to warrant the reaction. He could have handled it off screen, off camera. And like a lot of people, I think it was misdirected anger. He has been getting punked by social media for a long time because of what Jada has been saying. Jada is the one who's been putting out all their personal business. She's been doing that for years now. Will usually is pretty quiet, and Will, although he's been rumored to have cheated, he at least protects her in the public eye. But in the public eye, Jada says a lot of things that are emasculating to any man, and that I think a wife shouldn't share about their marriage. And I think he just took all of that. When he saw her roll her eyes, it was like, well, I got to do something now. Because like people said, he had laughed at first. I think he would have just let it go. But I think, he just took that moment of him being angry at people talking about their marriage, punking them, and so on and so forth. And he felt like he had to play the tough guy and let people know, hey, I'm, not someone you could keep talking about. But again, like, I just think it was totally wrong. And I think Jada was wrong to react how she had reacted, not regarding her being heard about her having alopecia, which they say Chris Rock didn't even know, but she laughed when Will did it. And to me, it just came across as manipulative and controlling and not a really healthy relationship.
Fellas?
Well said. I'm gonna be honest. I'm conflicted. I don't think either one of them is right or wrong. I think it was a series of unfortunate events, like the whole thing.
Shout out to Lemony Snicket.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not leaning right or wrong toward any one person. Was what Chris Rock was saying kind of wild, and it felt like he was like poking the bear extra at Jada Pinkett. It did kind of feel like that. And like what Olivia was saying, Will Smith has been getting dogged in the media for the better part of 2 or 3 years. And maybe at this point, this is when it's happening, like literally to his face rather than on the internet. And he just felt like he had to do it. Now, what's crazy to me is the fact that he was able to just stroll up there. Like, first of all, I didn't even realize the seats were that close to the stage. Like, I don't know. It just did. It didn't compute to me. But for him to be able to just casually walk up there, he really did. Like, he put some force behind that smack. It did look like a punch, but it was a smack. Put some force behind it and just walked off. Like,
that's just disrespectful too. Like how you slap me instead. Two grown men and like you slap. You don't even give me the dignity of punching me. You slap me. Like that's just wild to me.
A smack is arguably worse than a punch.
It can be. It just seemed extra disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Are you just like a little $2 hoe? Like I'm about to just slap you. Like,
but I mean,
up,
actions have consequences. Like you can't be Chris Rock and not expect him, to just do nothing when this has been happening to him again for 2 or 3 years, but I don't think it's been happening to his face. And man, Will Smith was just fed up. It's like, you know what? I'm here. I hear it. I see it. This is in my face. You know what? All right. Well, I'm sick of this, and went and smacked him. But I can't say either one of them is right or wrong in their actions. I just happened. I don't know. I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle of the whole thing.
That happened. I actually feel the same way, bro. Like it just happened. Like I think they both was right and wrong in the situation. So I know it's one of those things, man. What about you, Ralph?
I don't know, man. It's nasty. The whole thing is, right? Because we get these nuanced conversations about this and that, and then instead of what actually happened, right? He told a joke, they didn't appreciate it, he gets slapped. Now we're setting a new precedent for a lot, right? And I think Will was wrong. Like I'm not sitting here harboring over the joke because the joke wasn't that funny to me, honestly. Let's start there, right? The joke was but I've seen them be disrespected on the same stage the same night before Chris Rock. So how nobody wanted to slap Regina Hall for the joke she said about their open marriage. But
I missed that. What did Regina Hall say?
Oh yeah, okay. See, now this is tonight. This is the point that it was the same night, right? Like she did like a fake COVID screening and she picked like the most handsome men in Hollywood. She was like, "Hey, I want Bradley Cooper. I want this guy. You know what? You're married. Stay over there." And then she's like, "Will, you know what? You can come. You know what? Like just making a mockery of the open marriage thing, right? I think that's a little bit more offensive if that's the sweet spot that you got, right? But no, we're talking about the ball joke. And that's what we're going to hang our hats on? No, but I'm not going. And then you slap Chris Rock. You don't get no points for that. Like Chris Rock?
Well, no, I agree with that.
Chris Rock.
But look, back to your point about the...
Everybody hates Chris. And that's the punchline too. Nobody likes Chris Rock that's black. So we like, you know what? Yeah. Defend your wife, yeah. Like nobody cares about.
I got some beefs with Chris Rock though, man.
And that's fair. And that's fair. Like I'm not even defending that part. It's easy for like us to be like, well, fuck Chris Rock.
Yeah, because of who it is, man. Like he's done a lot of stuff, man. Like he's a legend. Agreed. But then like I've seen video of him with Louis C.K. and Louis C.K. is just saying nigga No, excuse me, nigger, like hard ER.
Yeah, with the ER.
And like, yeah, like you cool with him saying this around you, dude? Like, I don't.
But see, this
like
this is another thing I thought about out of this whole situation.
Yeah.
That smack that Chris Rock received could be his karma for stuff like allowing the white comedians to say the hard ER with the N-word and whatever else he's done behind the scenes. Because I hear he antagonizes a lot of people behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So that could have just been his karma, him receiving his karma for years of whatever he's been doing behind the scenes. Just so happened that it was Will Smith to actually deliver it in that moment. But that's me. That's my take, though. I don't know if it's true. That's just my take. Yeah,
it could be. I look at it like this, man. Because before this even happened, right? So let's go back before Saturday. 2 years ago, y'all remember Will Smith was up for an Oscar for Concussion. I'm pretty sure the movie's name is Concussion, right? So he plays the African doctor who discovered CTE. Don't ask me what CTE stands for. Something nope, don't even ask me. Anyway,
brain injuries, brain stuff.
That's to say brain injuries, right? So he was great in the movie. He was up for like an Oscar, and no, he should have been up for an Oscar, but he doesn't get nominated. So Jada decides to speak out about it and, you know, kind of defend her man. And like, you know, some of these other movies that were nominated, they were good, but I feel like my husband's performance was better. It deserved at least a nomination. And she was like, I'm going to boycott the Oscars. And this was the whole summer of Oscar So White. If y'all remember that hashtag, right?
Yep.
So Chris Rock gets on stage. He makes a joke about it. Chris Rock says, Jada Pinkett boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited. So I'm like, wow. Like, I don't like that, even though it's a joke. That was funnier, but I'm sorry. Go ahead. That was funny. It works on a comedic level, but let me tell you why I got an issue with it. I'm like, personally, if you see another black person standing up against racism, don't stand with the white organization. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, that rubs me the wrong way. But he a comedian. He made the joke. He said the joke. Fast forward now. She's bald headed, right? You do not tease a woman about being bald headed if you do not know the reason why she's bald headed. Because a lot of times women shave their heads because they're going through chemotherapy. You know what I'm saying? They don't necessarily want to announce I have cancer, blah, blah, blah. You could have joked about, it's a million jokes that you could have told about the open marriage. If he had told a joke about the open marriage, I don't think he gets slapped. So I don't necessarily agree with Will Smith getting up there and slapping Chris Rock because I mean, for nothing else, like you said, it's Chris Rock. Like, he's a little dude anyway. You know, you just, you know, you feel big now as you slapped a little dude.
Right.
Now, it's something to be said for poking the bear now for the second time, talking about another dude's wife, and it's going to be repercussions for that. You know what I'm saying? It just so happened this time the repercussions was you got slapped on national television.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's tough, man.
I don't know either. I feel like there's so many different conversations from both perspectives. Actually, all three, if you factor in Jada as well. So many conversations that can be held specifically for each of those individuals that, I mean, everybody's talking for the sake of talking. Like, none of us know what was going through Will Smith's mind in that moment. We don't know. Maybe he did look at Jada and she wasn't feeling it and he went up there, but I heard both of them was laughing at the joke before. Like, it's just so much.
I know WWE promo when I see it. This leading into WrestleMania weekend. I know what's going on because, and this is another thing I don't think a lot of people have like acknowledged, right? The Oscars, you know, have dwindled in ratings, right? And I'm not going to focus on this, but there have been a slew of incidents that have just happened over the past years. Like, no one's talking about the Moonlight incident when it just seemed like that doesn't happen. Like, how does you give the wrong envelope and it says La La Land to two old people? Of course they go read La La Land. No, they're supposed to read Moonlight if that was the right, movie. So
Moonlight was biggest day on that card.
So I was just like, how is that a controversy? But I remember that being a big thing. Then we get Oscar So White. Not to say that the Academy isn't racist or they overlook movies with predominantly cast of inclusion of people of color and diversity and things of that matter. So I'm just like it's just one thing after another. And then this was supposed to be the lowest rated, and then you got Will Smith and Jada, the biggest A-list couple in Hollywood together. And that doesn't bring your ratings up. Well, you know what's gonna bring these ratings up? Just slap.
So you think the Oscars orchestrated that with Will Smith for that
Why
to
not?
happen? Or you
Why
think
not? Everything?
I wouldn't be surprised.
You called Will Smith the content king. You said that.
and this
This is getting real.
king.
This is getting real nasty. And then they about to do a red table.
and this is where I'm going with it, right?
Mhm.
I don't think the Oscars coordinated that with Will. I think Will Smith just in the moment was like, you know what, a light bulb went off as that joke was being said. I could use this as a content moment because ever since Will Smith got on Instagram, which was 3, 4, 5 years ago, he been doing everything. He jumped out of an airplane for his 50th birthday. He been doing all types of remember he like during the pandemic, he gained a lot of weight. So he made a whole fitness thing on his Instagram. Like he's been doing a lot of different content things the last how many ever years that he's been on Instagram. And I feel like this is just in addition to everything he's been doing because it literally the conversation has not stopped since the moment it happened, even till today.
Facts.
People are still talking about it and people are going to continue to still talk about it. And now, like Ralph said, he's going on a red table talk. I feel like all of that played in his mind when he went up there and did the smack.
I haven't checked the numbers on it, but somewhere I read he's grown like 2 million followers in the past week.
I'm not surprised.
Something crazy like that. That's so. Listen, man, bro, you talking about Hollywood? Nothing surprises me. If this was like playing, I would believe that. If this was just Will Smith being fed up for being a meme and being a punching bag for the past 2 years, I could believe that too.
That's right.
Really, hold on real quick. We need to. This is all August Alsina's fault. Let me tell you why this is August Alsina's fault, right? Everybody has known that Will and Jada have been in an open relationship for like years. You know what I'm saying? Like none of this is new information. But August has a new album coming out, so he decides to go on what's Angela Yee's show?
The lip service.
I think it's lip service. I just know Angela Yee was doing the interview, so he goes and he spills the beans about him being so hurt by Jada Pinkett. Which, like, come on, bro, how you hurt because you got dumped by a woman who's been married for 25 years? She ain't never said she was leaving Will Smith for you. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on.
Plus, I imagine he knew the terms of Jada and Will's marriage. Like you knew she was married. You knew she had an open relationship, which means she's going to continue to be married. You just on the side. You should know that.
Fam, you want to tell me? You telling me that Will Smith ain't had sex with at least a couple hundred women since he's been married to Jada? Like,
listen,
Will Smith.
Will Smith has had like 3 or 4 movies with Margot Robbie, whatever her name is, that play Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Tell me that you can't tell me that. You can't tell me that.
Well, if I may interject some,
Olivia.
Just to that point, I mean, even if, like he said, he and Will had a conversation and so on and so forth, I think
I believe it.
Denied that. But whatever the case, I mean, think about in actual life, there are people who they agree to be the side person, they end up falling in love, and then they want more. In this case, I mean, from what I heard, I personally don't keep up with August Alsina, so on and so forth, but him being a lot younger than her, I hear I hear that his family dynamic wasn't the best, and she was like a mentor to him, that he had a substance use disorder. That's what I heard. So I don't know if it's true or whatever, but it seemed like he was just very vulnerable, and vulnerable people are always more susceptible to falling in love and kind of just looking for something that isn't there, or misinterpreting or making a bigger deal out of a relationship than what the other person is. I mean, obviously Jada and Will have no desire to separate. They are determined to be together. Like that, they make very, very clear. And even if he knew that going in, it just seemed that emotionally this is a younger person, vulnerable, and his
He was
heart.
grown. I get what you're saying, but he's grown, man.
No, wait.
All you had to do was shut up. That's all you had to do was just not
No.
run his mouth, man.
I agree. I agree with everything Olivia has said. Now, if that's the case, this whole thing is Jada's fault because her being the older person in that entanglement, she should have known what he was going, like mentally what he was going through, and that he would not be able to handle that type of relationship.
That's why when Johnny,
But she still pursued that.
Like when Johnny sent me the meme of them comparing Jada to Cersei from Game of Thrones, I was like, oh, this is spot on. This is the one here because Cersei was manipulative, like she was beautiful, but she had everybody working against her, and she was always the topic of conversation. And when I just finished Game of Thrones, so I'm just overly excited about that reference. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I just finished it. Like, me and the wife just finished it the other day. Like, it was
5 years later.
Right. Yeah. But no, it's just like, I was like, oh, she really is Cersei. So I was like, yeah.
A terrorist.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Pretty much.
That is wild.
I just want to say, I don't use Zoom that often. So my thing is like, if there are more than 2 people, I think like 45 minutes at a time. So I'm gonna have to log back on after like 6 minutes or so.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that. I got the El Cheapo plan with Zoom. So my joint goes 40 minutes. So what I'm gonna do in about 5 minutes, I just shoot y'all another link and we can finish out the discussion.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was everyone or just for me. So I was just like, by the way.
Got you.
Yeah, G got the bells and whistles version of Zoom, but I can never log into his account. So it is what it is. We're using my joint today. So we'll go around real quick. So right or wrong or whatever, starting with you, Olivia, to smack her around the world.
Absolutely wrong.
Okay. Johnny?
Can I say neither? Like, I'm not.
Not an option, bro.
I'm in the.
Not an option.
Well, I'm just gonna say right for the conversation.
Yes.
I'll say he's wrong.
Go even it out. You got to even it out now. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say he was right, even though personally I wouldn't do it myself. Like if I'm out with my woman, I'm going to defend her. Don't get me wrong. Like you're not just gonna talk reckless to my woman.
Yeah,
or you're not gonna crack one bad joke and I just like haul off and start stealing on you. Like it's gonna. Nah, that probably wouldn't happen.
You see, now this is a topic I've had with a couple guys before, and I'm like, me as a woman, the last thing I want to think about is you putting yourself in a situation like, let's be honest, like, okay, they're celebrities, right? But I'm like, for regular people, we know how fights can end. And I'm like, having a Black partner, absolutely not. I'm never going to push him up to put himself in a violent situation. I am not that sensitive. Like I can let it go. So you let it go. Okay.
And I've seen people ask, why didn't Jada stop him from going up on the stage? I've seen people ask that, and that's not even something I think of. I didn't even think about that. Like, why didn't she stop him?
That either.
I didn't even.
She
think
wanted
of that.
to make a slap. That's what it was.
Because she's a terrorist. That's why.
Yeah,
Cersei, straight Cersei.
Facts.
And Will is Jamie. God damn it.
Everyone is, to some degree a product of their environment. And I know, like we all know, she had a tough upbringing too. So
yeah,
some people view love and loyalty is different. And their relationship is definitely different from a lot of people's.
100%.
Faux show. Yeah, she is a bad guy kind of in all this, because even if August was going to come out and say everything that he said, she still didn't have to take advantage of that opportunity to boost the whole red table talk. She could have just shut up about it and talked about other stuff and did the same thing that they've been doing for years, which is deflect off the fact that they have an open relationship. And Will Smith would not be a meme right now.
They're celebrities. I guess he was like, I'm gonna promote this album and I'm gonna promote my table talk. So I guess it's a win-win situation. Who knows?
Everything is a rollout and it's all nasty.
Facts, man. In the words of Dave Chappelle, she did the table talk, but she could have shut the fuck up.
That's
But she
right.
was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. Ain't gonna happen. We about to do these table talks, get this table talks money. All right, so back. It's about to cut off in about 2 minutes. I'm gonna shoot y'all a new link. It should be there in about 3 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
At least not to my knowledge.
Yeah, I had that joint
Am
once.
I the only one who has caught COVID then?
Oh no, I had it. I had
Oh.
COVID in July 2020, man. That shit sucked. You know how like some people get it and it's like they asymptomatic and all of this shit.
Mhm.
No, I felt like I had like the worst case of the flu like ever. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy.
Do you feel like you've had any like lasting effects from it?
No, this shit is funny, man, because like I don't think so. But there was a time like a year later that have you ever, you know, that feeling like when your flesh is crawling? Like sometimes it's something you look at, certain shapes or whatever, something makes your flesh crawl.
I'm like that with circle. I can't look at too many circles.
I can't look at a cracked screen. Like cracked screen.
Wow.
I like I no. I broke a phone last year and I just had to throw that shit in the trash, just get a whole new phone. I ain't trying to get it fixed, throw shit in the trash, bro. Like I just it makes my flesh. But anyway, that sensation, I had that sensation for like off and on for like a week. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that was because it's a year later. I don't know if that was because of COVID or just I'm getting older and getting weirder. Like I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It could have been a lot of things. But yeah, I had COVID one time.
That's crazy.
Did you have a bad case, Olivia, or was you kind of like asymptomatic?
I had a horrible case. I was like, if you want to get any worse, just go on ahead and take me out of the picture. I mean, I had everything.
It's so dramatic. Lord, take me now, Lord.
I'm not used to being sick. I am very pain adverse. My body's very fragile. I'm not used to being sick. So it hit me so hard. I had fevers. I had chills. I had nausea. I had dizziness. I had muscle soreness. I had everything. Every symptom you could have, I had. It like I remember having on like 2 sweatshirts, 2 pajama pants, socks, and being under the covers, and I still felt freezing cold. I felt like I was in an igloo. Like it was so bad.
Wow. I can't front, man. My brother was definitely getting closer to God during that whole situation because like I was like, yo, because all my friends at one point had it, but they was all like, it wasn't that bad, or they was asymptomatic. Nah, and it's like I have asthma too, so it never got to a point where I felt like I needed to go to a hospital, but I could definitely feel my breathing not being 100%, and that kind of scared me a little bit. I ain't gonna front, so I was like, you know, getting up, saying my prayers. You know what I'm saying? Make sure I'm paying my tithes, not tithes. Tithes and offerings, you know what I'm saying? but yeah, God is good, man. God is good. So I'm still here. All right, real quick. So, Olivia, y'all hear echo?
A little delay. Yeah.
Right, hopefully that goes away. Olivia, can you tell us about your many books that you have and your artistic process in creating the fiction that you create?
Sure. So from the time I was 3 years old, I knew I wanted to be a writer. I knew I wanted to publish books. I grew up watching Toonami, which when it first came out was called Tsunami, which was all about anime. So I grew up on like the Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, all that stuff, Tenchi Muyo, Rurouni Kenshin. And growing up loving anime and loving writing, it just seemed natural that when I decided to get published last year to finally back in 2020, to finally take the time to get everything out, that it was, you know, anime inspired, anime style. In particular, growing up loving a lot of action anime, a lot of shonen. As you know, a little girl, I always wanted to see women warriors. I was more into like the female ninja and female samurai, all that kind of stuff. So I was like, there wasn't a lot of that when I was a kid. I guess there's more of it now, but you know, basically I wrote what I wanted to see or what I wish I had seen on TV. So all of my books, like the main character is a woman warrior, but you know, they all take place in warring states, Japan, and so on and so forth.
Okay. That's dope. That's dope. So like what's the artistic process like? Do you write every day? Do you write a little bit if you're feeling it? And if you don't, maybe you go away and come back to it? Like what is that like for you?
Okay, so let me tell you, when I wrote, well, it depends on the book too.
Okay.
Like, I would say I get spurts of energy. And that spurt of energy could last for months at a time, so that I write hours and hours a day. When I wrote this book, Kroichi, Birth of a Kunoichi, this one I actually started back when I was in high school at some point, kept on saving it on, a drive, and got back into it later. The process for this, because obviously I am not from that culture, didn't grow up over there, took a lot of research, months and months of research on terms, customs, different things. I wanted it to, even though fantasy, be historically accurate for most of it. And again, because these are warriors, when I describe choreography, I want that to be realistic too. So watching a lot of videos on how to use certain weapons, and watching a lot of the older samurai films to see how they fight, and like pausing it, slowing it down, pausing it, slowing it down. So my writing process involves a lot of in-depth research. And what I do too, what helps me write and get into the vibe, I listen to music that fits the vibe of that scene. So if I have like a very sad or tragic scene, listening to very sad music. I really like listening to Chinese and Japanese instrumentals. And so listening to the different instruments, all those kind of things help get me into that like somber, sad mood. And so that helps a lot with producing a scene and so on and so forth. So that's how I go about that kind of process. And when I get into writing, I can forget to eat. I can forget to go to sleep. Like I can write hours and hours and hours. And yeah.
That's what you call passion.
Yeah.
The brother ain't never forgot to eat, man. I like that.
I don't even get hungry. I'm like, I have to write this. This has to come out. So
that's what's up. That's
and
awesome.
these are the other two that I have out. And this one, Child of Water, the prequel. So this one is a slow burn love story. So with this one, I knew all the books I was going to have come out are like action, action, action. I wanted to show I was versatile. So I'm like, let me put in a love story too, got to have the romance. So, well, the other thing too was when I was creating these two, so although you can't exactly tell, these two are technically the same person, but what happened is it's the same person in two different dimensions, right? So the thought process behind this was when I was creating Child of Water, I didn't know how I wanted the character to be. If I wanted her to be like gentle and soft or more aggressive and courageous. And I was like, I could have her transition from this person to that person. But everything was like, well, the word count is going to be ridiculous. And I was like, you know what? Why don't I just split her in two? So that whole thing happened.
So basically, you pulled a Marvel. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just go into another dimension.
You got your own multiverse going on.
You know what? It helps. It helps. But I actually got the idea from Tenchi Muyo and Tenchi Universe. I don't know if any of y'all watched that when y'all were younger. No? Yeah? Okay.
I can't recall.
G is the anime head, man. I like certain animes, but G loves the anime hoe.
So if you watch Tenchi Muyo and Tenchi Universe, it's the exact same tale, but it's told with like opposite things happen, like the same events happen, but to opposite characters. So it's like the message is the same, but because it's happening to a different character in a different way, the consequence is different. But in this case, their personalities are also very, very different. Like how they handle things are not at all the same. So, yeah.
And I was gonna say those books are thick too, so she not playing about was she in the in that mode. Get it out.
Is it okay if I ask a question? Or I didn't want to,
sir.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to, bombard your interview, but I just had a question about your process. Now, did you like consciously want to make like people of color in this universe, or is just like I'm just gonna write this story and let it be what it may be, and then if a person of color has to be here, we can do that?
When I wrote Child of Water, it was consciously putting a Black person into it and so on and so forth. So
Okay.
yeah, that was definitely conscious.
Okay.
Because, again, I don't know how much y'all watch anime, and this isn't to say like because Asian people are people of color, of course. So it's not like you have to put certain people into places that they wouldn't be otherwise. Like, it's not like there were a ton of Africans in Japan, but historically it was possible because Japan began interacting with English and European countries in the 1500s. During that time, there were some African slaves who would accompany those people, so the interactions were possible. Also, there were a lot of Africans in China, and during this time too that Child of Water takes place. So I'm sure you all have heard of Ming silk, right? Okay, no, whatever the case. So it's a type of silk.
Enlighten me. I love to learn.
I was like,
I love to learn.
This silk comes from Ming China, but it was also used a lot in Japan to make their kimonos. But at that time, Japan was not allowed to purchase the silk nor the silkworms from China. So what happened is that English people, I believe the Portuguese, I changed it in my book so that I made them Dutch. But I think in actuality, it was the Portuguese acted as the intermediary. They would purchase the silk from China and then bring it over to people in Japan. So I'm like, historically, if they had slaves, they could have been, brought along and introduced. So it's not impossible, but in general, I want my characters to be people of color, Asian, Black, Native American, whatever,
No, I appreciate your research. That is very, very thorough, what you just gave.
Thank you.
Seriously, I know what silk is, but you said something else silk. Like I think you gave the geographic place where it's from. I was I didn't finish college. Okay, I'm smart, but I didn't finish college. I don't know. I don't know these words. And you used another word. You said trans. What was it? Trans. Were you talking about somebody being in another dimension, but it's the same person? Transfused? Something you said. It was a trans word.
I think I just said transition.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Hey, listen, it's what it is, man. Well, thank you. Thank you for that, man. Let the people know where they can pick your books up at.
So my books are on Amazon. Just go to Amazon. They're also available on Kindle Unlimited. And you just go to Amazon, type in Olivia Thompson, you could type in Kuroichi, type in Child of Water. Also on my Instagram page, the link is in my bio. FPASBY Olivia, FPAS by Olivia, and just go to link in my bio and my books are there. So
tell them what FPAS stands for. I think it's pretty dope.
Okay, so
it's not FUPAS. It's not FUPAS. Don't look up FUPAS by Olivia. That you're gonna get a whole different website.
Occurred to me. That connection, that correlation never occurred to me. Wow, okay. For female protagonist anime stories, because when you have a book series, you can have like an overarching series title. So I wanted to do that. Obviously, the books are not just for women, of course. It's for anyone who's into anime, fantasy, historical fiction, action. Like, yeah.
I love it. I'm gonna check it out. Definitely.
That's
Thank
what's
you.
up, man. We applause for that, man.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate authors of color, definitely women authors of color, man. So
Thank you.
love that. Fellas, Oversaturated podcast, man. I should have been Yo, I'm so glad we can have y'all on, man, because like I've been following y'all for a minute, bro. Like y'all, I like looking at y'all because then it's like, all right, I know what I'll be talking to me and you be talking like, yo, Y'all are one of the podcasts that we look at like you can tell that y'all are friends and y'all are not just podcasts, mates.
Yeah.
So you'll tell the people like how the Oversaturated podcast came to be.
You want to do it?
Yeah, I think I got it. Well, me and Johnny go back to high school. So we met when we were 15, 14 years old. So that's where, the debates began, right? And me and Johnny always kind of had like a fire and ice, yin and yang type of debate. He'll be on this side, I'll be on the other. And, one day he hit me, he was like, hey, we should do a podcast. Word, just how most people say we, should start a podcast. Let's start a podcast. I bet. Okay. So we came up with the name Oversaturated. It just kind of stuck because of the podcast market is oversaturated. Then, you listen to us, REA, we talk about everything. We can talk about, comic book movies all the way down to the Crown Act that's going through Congress. So, that's kind of the energy that we kind of bring, mostly music and movie debates. But, I think we've broadened our spectrum, in the past, year or two, just kind of spanning topics. So that's, pretty much it.
Yeah, we got to evolve with the times as more or different topics that we would discuss come out that are more prevalent, like in the news. It's just something that we adapt to. So like he said, like talking about the Crown Act, that's something we probably wouldn't have talked about 3-4 years ago. But because things like that are more prominent in the news now, so like, gotta talk about it, So we here. It's actually celebrating our 5-year anniversary soon.
Oh,
coming up.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's what I'm talking about.
5
years at it. That's what's up.
Yeah. It ain't easy. A lot of people think,
oh, it's not.
All you got to do is just pick up a mic and talk. No, it's a lot of planning, a lot of prep.
My boy.
Listen, man, it's way different. We've seen a lot of people, a lot of podcasts that came in the game with us 5 years ago, not here anymore because they thought it was just gonna be easy, just get up and talk. No, it's not that simple. Not that simple.
And that's not even like an indictment of what they were doing compared to what we were doing, like what we're doing now. I think we just evolved as men first and then podcasters second. We're able to have conversations that are very uncomfortable. Like it used to be bad for us at first. Like we couldn't drink. Like we would have to drink to get on the podcast at first. Like that sounds nasty.
Our first year, it was bad.
Just drink. Like like
fam. Yo, shout out to Blurds and Whiskey, bro. Like they whole podcast, they be lit the whole time. I can't do it.
I couldn't even do it.
I can't do it. I can have like one or two, you know what I'm saying? Like as over the course of the pod, but like no, like these dudes is professional drinkers,
listen,
bro.
I won't highlight this episode, but if somebody goes in the OS archives, they'll find it. But it's 2 hours of me and Johnny just drinking, and then by the time by the time we're done, you can tell.
Yeah.
What type of podcast it was gonna be if we kept going.
Damn, like listen, my level of respect for people who can like get drunk. I ain't talking about having a drink or two, but get drunk and still go out and do a podcast or do like stand-up comedy or do music on stage. I couldn't, bro. Like I would be slurring all of my words, and it would be the worst.
You say the first thing that comes to mind, like those inhibitions just come over. It's just like wow, like I don't know how people are able to do that. I don't know.
I'm not built like that, bro. Like that's why.
Me at all.
If I'm gonna be performing anything, I'm usually 100% sober. You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask y'all a question?
Yeah.
Now, this is the most recent thing that Ralph and I like majorly disagreed on.
Ralph already know what it is. I can tell
we usually have disagreements, but this one was like just like crazy. Okay. Did y'all see the Batman? Both of y'all, did y'all see the Batman?
I saw it. Olivia, tell me you saw the Batman. You saw it, right?
No,
I'm taking your nerd card. We're taking your nerd card, Olivia.
Look, I take my nerd card very seriously. Hold on, I'm gonna fight you over that card. Wait a minute.
I forgot you was from Florida. My bad. I take that. Look.
I have alligators and all this history of like karate, martial arts, sports play. I got like, wait a minute.
She just told you that she YouTubed videos of different Chinese weapons being used. She just told you that. You don't want to fight her. You don't want to fight her.
Oh, I should have brought out my replica of like Katana and Wakizashi. I have that downstairs too. So
And we learned nothing from the Will Smith, Chris Rock. Like,
Hey,
violence
man,
is not the answer, my sister. Violence, it's not. It's not.
I got katanas too. But I was gonna ask how y'all like. What did y'all think about it? But I don't want to spoil it if it.
I mean, we can talk about it without spoilers. Like, even though it's been like a month and a half, Olivia. But yeah, yo, personally, I loved it. I will not put it above any of the 3 Nolan films, but I will put it in the top 5 Batman movies. My only gripe about the movie is it was too long. That's what she said. But other than that, it was fire, man.
I love that's what she said. Jokes. I'm sorry. I'm juvenile. Sorry.
But yeah. So which one of y'all didn't like it? So I'm taking one of y'all really didn't like it.
Wait.
Oh, okay.
So your issue was it was too long. That was the only issue. It was something.
I mean, it's other issues, man. But I would say the main issue. I feel like the movie was like a legit 3 hours long. I feel like they could have accomplished the same in 2.5, 2 hours and 40 minutes.
I don't know if I agree. I don't know if I agree with that.
Okay.
Like I don't know what part of the movie you would take out for it to still make sense.
Now that's a good question. That I haven't thought about. What you would take out of it. That's all on the director.
For it to still
hit the same. Yeah. What did you think, Ralph? What did you think of the movie?
Too long. we can get to the point quicker. Like, boy. Like, okay, like I mean, now obviously it's nitpicks, but I don't think the movie's terrible. Let me say that, right? Let me preface that. I don't think it's terrible. I just think that there's and this is my gripe with superhero films in general. Like, we're getting to the point where there's no such thing as theatrical cuts anymore. We're just making big ass director's cuts that, that just tickle the fancy of everything. But sometimes that doesn't make for good movies. Like, that's just a long ass film. That's just how I feel about the Batman. It's okay. Like, I think a lot of people hyped it. I think it's okay. I'm not losing sleep if I ever have to watch that film again. Like, I'm all right.
Okay, so you said it. Would you say it was good though? So are you saying it's not good?
I think it's not terrible. It's a hair above, like it's like 6.8 to me out of 10. Like, that's what I'm giving it.
Fair. I would go 7.5 to 8. I need to watch it again. I would say
if I have the time to watch it again. Like,
look. Gotta request some time off for work, vacation days to see that shit.
Never watch that movie at night. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, that was my cousin. I went to go see it with Stat Scott, my cousin. Like, he's on the show sometimes, and I think it was funny because at first we were going to go see the 7:15 show. Yeah. But I had some stuff with the kids, so we ended up having to go into the 8:15 show. He was like, "Bro, you shouldn't have did that." I was like, "What are you talking about? It's just an hour." He's like, "Man, that hour gonna make a difference, bro." He fell asleep in the movie. I was this close to falling asleep, but I fought it, and I, survived the whole thing.
I went at 11 o'clock and I had to fight off sleep.
Wait, you saw it at 11 o'clock?
AM.
Oh, okay.
Still, I was just like, can I get some sunlight, my boy? Like, can we get a little bit of daylight? No, it's
I have a question. Like, is it that you were falling asleep because it not having like a more edited cut, you just felt like?
Well, it's definitely like
I'll tell you what it is for.
It took a long time to get to certain points. Like, it's just a lot of detective fluff, and I guess if that's your forte for a Batman film, okay, great. But I don't go to superhero films for that shit.
So listen,
that's a good
listen.
I see.
Well, now that's
the disconnect right there, because go ahead.
Like, cool. This is something that, as an author too, and doing the whole anime, people talk about, like, do you just want the action, or should everyone have a backstory? When do you introduce the backstory? And it's like, when we were kids, a lot of cartoons and anime and TV shows, they didn't give a lot of backstory. It's just action. But now people want more substance. So perhaps it's just directors are following the trend of people. Like, look, even our superheroes, villains, even the superheroes' assistants We want them to have a backstory. Like we want to know more about them to connect to them. So there is that trend.
But this is the
makes a film then super duper long.
and this is the thing with the Batman.
That's him.
It's nothing but substance. Like the few action scenes there are, is just him fighting regular
random
henchmen.
thugs, and
that's it.
That's it. He pulled
the
up
rest of it is
about
story.
4 times. I'm like, bro.
Then I could understand how that's problematic, because when you watch any superhero film, like you do want action more than anything else, like a backstory, but you want the action.
I want Lethal Weapon got more action than this film. God damn, that's a cop film.
It's like it's too much foreplay, not enough action.
It's all foreplay, baby.
Need to get down to the
make the
action
orgasm
at some
better.
point in time.
There was no orgasm with this film either.
That's what I'm saying. You got like it's like, what are we doing here? Like if we don't reach the beat, then like what are we? Why are we here? We just going through the motions. You know what I'm saying? I would say it was good. I look at it like this, bro. If I didn't have any expectations going into it, so I'm just trying to look at it objectively for what it is. It does focus on more so on Batman being the world's greatest detective, which is who he is in the comic books, and less on Batman being like this
vigilante,
super badass. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Doing cool stuff and driving expensive cars and getting the girl, being Bruce Wayne sometimes, blah, blah, blah. I liked it because it was a different take on Batman. Like in this movie, you get to see Batman in his first couple of years. That's something you haven't seen
in
theatrically.
live action. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I liked it from that perspective, but I will agree with you. It probably could have been shorter. That's my only gripe for it. Excuse me. If it wasn't for the Nolan trilogy, though, I would probably put this at 1 or 2 as far as like best Batman movies. The one for the Nolan trilogy.
I put the Batman over Batman Begins, but I don't think I put it over.
I want to see it one
I
more
definitely
time
don't put it
before
over
I do.
Dark Knight, and I don't think I put it over Dark Knight Rises, even though I have one major gripe with the Dark Knight Rises.
Bro, we talking about Bane, and we were talking about this on the Geek Solid podcast 2 weeks ago when we were reviewing the movie. The only one gripe about this Batman movie, of course, other than it being too long or whatever, is it doesn't feel like it has the quotables. You know what I'm saying? To go back to like rap, you know what I'm saying? It's like you have a rapper, he has a hot 16. It's gonna be 1 or 2 times like, wow, you know what I'm saying? I feel like Dark Knight Rises, the scene where Bane is fighting Batman and Batman tries to use darkness to his advantage, and Bane is like, nigga, I was born in.
You
bro,
really adopted it. That's a bar. That's
bars, bro. How do you take the darkness away from the Dark Knight, bro? Like that's crazy.
And
this
I feel
movie
like
is more grounded. It don't really have a moment like that.
And my thing was like the Riddler. I didn't think like he had enough oomph to him. Like, I mean, yeah, he outsmarted Batman. He got him to do what he wanted, but it's just like, oh, okay. Like, all right. Like, you have nothing else, my guy? Like,
what else you got? You know, you smart, but
like, you're smart, but that's all you got? Okay.
He literally used. I'm sorry, I don't want to.
It's okay. I mean,
Olivia, your homework.
It'll be on streaming in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, you might as well wait for streaming. It's about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks from being on streaming, so you might as well.
But nothing beats the movie theater experience. That's his own experience.
So your homework.
That's not
today.
True. That's not true. The pandemic showed me that I could have a full movie experience at home.
Oh no. That was one of the saddest parts to me. Like I love like the movies. Let me tell you, when Straight Outta Compton came out, I had to watch that in theaters. I watched that in theaters 4 times. I tried to watch it at home and it did not work. When it came out, like no.
Fam, when
he hit
Felicia with that Bye Felicia in the theater with a bunch of people, it hit different. It hit different in the theater.
Everything.
That's not chronologically accurate.
I had watched it
chronologically accurate. Yo, that's funny, man. That's funny. All right, so I want to real quick get to some stuff before our time runs out, man. So we're gonna play a little this or that game real quick.
Okay.
All right, real quick. Taco Bell versus Chipotle. Who you got? Olivia Pope.
Chipotle, absolutely.
Why?
Taco Bell is disgusting. Don't want to have diarrhea.
Oh, wow. The deception. Oh my God. Taco Bell was there for you on them. Okay, well, you don't really drink like that for real. But back in your clubbing days, nothing open, but usually like a Waffle House, but you didn't want to go there because you probably don't get shot.
That's what
And Taco Bell.
Pizza's for. That's what pizza's for, okay?
Oh my God, man. Okay. All right. Johnny?
Chipotle, easy.
I
As
got some
an
gripes with Chipotle. I fuck with them, but I got some gripes with
as
Chipotle.
an adult, I can taste the fakeness in whatever I eat at Taco Bell.
As a taxpayer.
Once I do eat it, it does not agree with me. Why am I putting myself through that? No, thank you.
Okay. Ralph?
Well, for the sake of the argument, I'm definitely going Chipotle is, what I prefer over Taco Bell because I used to work at Taco Bell. And I can tell you that there's nothing there that you cook. Everything you drop in some hot bun water is 180 degrees. And it's just, it's fresh now. Let's serve it to the people. Like, at least at McDonald's, they got a grill. Like, they got a grill of deep fan. Look,
you don't want to eat that either.
I'd rather eat the premium chicken sandwiches now than go to Taco Bell.
Oh,
listen, man.
I'm not gonna
front, man, because I'm a foodie. So I definitely prefer fresh food.
Yeah.
Chipotle is better. Let's just be honest. And then, I'm on my whole weight loss journey and everything. So anytime you can get some at least mostly healthy food. In fact, you could actually get some really healthy food from Chipotle because you could go with the brown rice, some beans, vegetables, grilled chicken. You can actually make, if you hold off on a queso and a whole bunch of cheese, it's actually pretty weight loss friendly. So they're good. But let me tell you why I got a gripe with Chipotle, because these ninjas brought out brisket, right? I don't know if y'all got to try the brisket at Chipotle. That brisket was so good. And it lasted for like 3 weeks. I had it 3 times. I had it once a week for 3 weeks. And I was like, yo, this is good. And then they just stripped it off the menu, bro. The deception, the
betrayal.
Oh my
betrayal.
God, bro. It was, But listen, I'm not gonna front on Taco Bell though, because Taco Bell has been there for me on those nights where you're leaving the club, you're leaving your boy's crib, you're starving, nothing else is open. Taco Bell was there.
Only time I'm going back to Taco Bell is when they bring out the nacho fries. Outside of that, I'm not going. My nacho fries be hidden. That's all I got for you, though. That's all I got.
I was trying not to laugh. Every time I laugh, I fall.
What's the next question?
right, exactly. What's next?
All right, so it's pretty much 4-0 in favor of Chipotle. Cool. All right, boom. Zombie apocalypse or the Purge? Which would you rather be in?
I'll go first. I'll go for the Purge because in the zombie apocalypse, you're fighting 2 people. I watched too many shows where the zombie apocalypse is like a one front. Then you got to deal with the infighting inside of like whatever, because people get real power hungry when it comes to like zombie apocalypses. So you got to fight them too. So I got to fight the zombie and them, and all I got to defend is my family in the Purge. So I'll rock with the Purge. I'll stay in the house.
That's coming from a Walking Dead fan.
Walking Dead and Game of Thrones. Yeah, you did all that.
Ralph will keep trying to put in ways and just put it out there that he's finally finished Game of Thrones. I threw it out there like 3 times.
I watched 8 seasons in 2 months. Judge me if you must.
That's pretty impressive, man. Pretty impressive.
Judge me.
I gotta watch it over again. I've seen all of them. I gotta watch it again though.
Yeah. I don't know. Olivia, what you got? I don't know.
It's hard because on one hand, from a superficial standpoint, zombies look so gross. I don't like, if I get attacked, my skin, like, I kind of pride myself on looking nice and, ill, gross zombies.
God.
But the Purge is like, zombies are usually like slower, right? Usually less zombies.
Depends on what universe.
It depends.
Not on World War Z. They was like,
now, I don't know if y'all watch All of Us Are Dead on.
Yes, I saw that.
Yes.
That was actually good. Really good.
If it's something like that and I could be a half bee, then okay. Like cause I'm like, in my head, I'm going in with the assumption I'm gonna die, right? So it's like, do I want to be brutalized?
I was trying not to laugh.
Yeah, you just gave up. Either way, I'm gonna die. So,
so in my head, I'm like, I could be brutalized on the purge, but I'm like, if it's a zombie, I could look all, gross. But if I'm like, all of us are dead type of zombie and I'm a half bee, I can heal, rejuvenate, still look human. So I'm gonna take the chance and go with zombie, because on the purge, guaranteed, like, again, I can't handle pain. So
I was
sorry for your fiance. Thank you. I'm just playing. I'm playing. Don't block me. But
no comment.
I'm going to go with the purge, though. The reason I'm going to go with the purge is because I feel like the purge it's one night of chaos. So it's like, can you stay safe in one night? So it's like, I get, some of the homies, we all come to my house. We all strapped up. You just got to survive the night. I feel like a zombie apocalypse, man, that could last for months, if not
ongoing.
years. Yeah, that's going on forever.
That whole part of it, yeah. That the purge is just 24 hours. I forgot that whole part.
If zombies become a thing, like, that's never going away. There's never going to be a zombie cure. Yeah. So that's just going to be forever.
So which one are you picking?
I'm going to, because of that, and I thought about that as we were all talking. I'm definitely picking the purge, because one night or one day, I have 364 days to prepare. I'm getting all the steel, everything for the windows. So yeah.
Then I'm gonna change and go
you gotta stick with what you said.
No. You can't change. That's it.
Yes.
That's so funny. That's funny.
Okay.
That's hella funny.
All right, real quick, because we got 2 minutes. First of all, thank y'all for being on the show. Real quick, I'm gonna start with you, Olivia. Let the people know where they can follow you at.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, FPAS by Olivia, FPASBY Olivia. Yeah, my books are on Amazon. Child of Water, the prequel, Child of Water, The Rousing, and Kuroichi, Birth of a Kunoichi.
Cool. Oversat.
Follow Oversaturated the podcast, all social media. Facebook, Oversaturated the podcast, Twitter, Oversat podcast, Instagram, Oversat the podcast, our email, oversatpodcast@gmail.com. That's our email, our website, oversatthepod.com. We got merch, hoodies, mugs, all that stuff. Fire. We drop every Monday, all DSPs, and we on YouTube. I miss anything, Ralph?
That's it.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having us.
Oh, no doubt. We got to have y'all again. And we're trying to get on y'all podcast too, man. So, let us know.
We got y'all.
The schedule and everything.
Olivia just said something else. We missed it.
What do you say, Olivia?
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, I was accidentally cutting you off, but I was just saying I too have an email address at fpatbyolivia@gmail.com. But yeah, thank you all. And it was great meeting you all. And absolutely, I'll be tuning into your podcast too, Oversaturated. So
thank you.
Thank you.
We
appreciate it. Hope you enjoy.
I'm sure I
will. Yo, these springtime colds is the worst.
You need some cough drops.
I got one in my mouth. I'm just glad it ain't COVID. That's what she says yesterday, just to be on the safe side. It ain't COVID. It's just this stupid cough. But till next time, thank y'all for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube, Geek Salad, youtube.com/Geek Salad. Till next time. Peace out.
Peace.
Thank y'all.
I'm on the come up, jump up, I pick my gun up. Joe Jackson with trap.